Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation with myself, Thomas, and my friend.
Paul.
And we are watching episode 2 of the brand new series of Doctor Who. It's known as Season 1 with Ncuti, Gatwa and Millie Gibson. It's called The Devil's Chord. Paul, you've seen this already, haven't you?
Yep.
This is my first viewing.
First we have a note.
Ooh.
And we have a tune. Then we have a melody. Beethoven wrote this when he first discovered he was going deaf. All that rage and fury, out of which something beautiful. Am I boring you, Henry?
It's just a bit stuffy. Can't you play something more exciting, sir?
There is one thing you might like. It's called the Devil's Chord.
Tell me more, sir.
It was banned by the church in medieval times in case it allows the devil to enter the room.
That is a concept that's ripe for Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes you shiver, doesn't it?
Tritone.
Technically, it's known as
Yes.
a tritone, but
Oh, very good.
put it in context and...
Ooh.
Henry, get away from him.
Them.
What?
Me.
What?
I'm them.
You're who?
Yo-hoo! Nice to see you again, kiddo.
You know each other.
That's my daddy.
My notation is... Maestro.
But what are you?
I am... music. And you, Mr. Timothy Drake, you're a genius.
Don't be ridiculous.
You're the greatest composer who ever lived. Clever enough to find the lost chord, but it's so sad, Timothy. You never had the luck. You never got that break.
Now I kind of get this. This is kind of almost a Rocky Horror type feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a vibe. Whether it's I don't know if it will go down well with people, but it is
Sure.
leaning into it.
Now,
What the heck?
So there's an opening.
It is an opening. I mean, it's audacious, isn't it? How did you
Yeah.
feel about that when you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, I was. It's got a very different feel to the first episode, so I think. I mean, I watched it. You know, I was. It feels like it's going in a bit of direction.
Yeah, it's almost it's a better way of doing silliness, isn't it? Because it's actually quite disturbing and weird.
Yes. So there's an over-the-topness to this performance, but I think we can get into why that. I think it works.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to have some very casual clothing for the Doctor here.
Yeah.
And this music it's got a Beatles-esque element to it. Some of it.
Yeah.
Like there was that first little fanfare. It's very reminiscent of some Beatles song that I couldn't quite put my finger on.
Yes.
Maybe something stronger.
Nice.
Now you're talking, Paul, lad. I just want a good night's sleep. And a free.
What song are they going to do?
I've got a dog, he's called Fred. My dog is alive, he's not dead. I love my dog, he loves me too. I haven't got a cat, only a dog. My dog, my dog, my dog, my dog. I've got a dog, I love my dog. He's my dog, he's not your dog. If you want a dog, it's your own.
Cilla Black. I mean, such a random choice.
Yeah.
Me, we are two, we are not three. 'Cause you love me and I love you. We're quite happy, I think.
Oh, I see. Because the music, something's gone wrong with the music.
Yeah.
That's nice. That is a nice concept.
Don't mind us.
Let's pay attention to this woman in the background here, Thomas, who's talking, and let's bank a conversation about her.
Okay.
I think.
I've got a cup of tea for you. Mr. Epstein sent me.
Didn't kill himself.
You are right in France. Yeah?
Oh, took me a moment to get
Keep up, mate.
getting your Epsteins mixed up.
I can settle down and get a
What do you think of the accent here?
It's embarrassing. Singing.
I think because I'm quite a big Beatles fan, I know you are as well, we're probably hyper attuned. We've seen so much footage of them and stuff, and interviews and that kind of thing, that it's
People
always
have
going to
been-
be weird, isn't it?
Yeah, people have been quite negative about the people, about their performances here, actually.
Really.
They don't feel they were very good portrayals, but quite like that Maestro sort of appearing in the reflections everywhere.
In the past, right now, I live in a place called Totter's Lane. 1963, I parked the TARDIS in a junkyard, and I lived there with my granddaughter Susan.
Ah.
So this is fascinating that
My
a
granddaughter.
series that's doing basically a bit of a soft reboot is diving into this,
Yeah.
You've got children.
I did have, I will have.
which makes me wonder whether we're going to get a Susan
Yeah, but you've got a granddaughter. Like now, like today.
revisit.
Our time, my time.
Oh, that would be
I don't know.
an incredible moment.
Time Lords were murdered. Genocide rolled across time and space like a great big cellular explosion. Maybe it killed her too.
This is a more engaging episode, certainly so far, isn't it, than the previous one?
Yeah, much, much more.
Oh, and this is Ruby's theme, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was released like a few months ago, so that's quite clever that she actually plays it as well. This is a nice moment.
We keep that bloody noise down!
People are trying to sleep. Oh yeah, Murray Gold really smashed it with this one, I think.
So is this, what's this, Thomas? Diegetic, non-diegetic?
Oh, very good. Well, it's a mixture, isn't
Which
it?
one's which? Like, I can't remember.
Because it started diegetic, so as in the characters heard it, but then the orchestras kind of come in and swirled and brought in a non-diegetic element.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
It's very This is a good moment. Yeah, and that sense of music being so important, that is a nice idea, isn't it? Because we all have that sense, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I have met some people who don't like music.
Really?
Yeah. Strange people.
You called.
Ah, yes. The Toymaker.
Yeah, so a little callback there. We had that, didn't we? Like, Toymaker saying his legions were coming.
Yes. I mean, it's a very out there performance, but I do kind of buy it as a villain.
Well, yeah, so some people have said, oh, it's far too over the top, but I think because they're playing a sort of godlike trickster figure who's one of the legions of sort of the Toymaker or whatever, I think it works in that context.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to work when I saw the trailer and stuff, but I think
Yeah,
it kind of does.
if it wasn't that, if it wasn't in that context, I think it would just be, you'd be like, this is much too over the top. But this kind of chewing the scenery thing works
Yeah.
for what the character should be like, I think. So I can get why some people it would have grated, though.
Yeah. It's certainly not for everyone. Ooh. That's quite cool.
Yeah, it's a neat idea, actually, isn't it? And also the way that Maestro's not hugely phased.
Yeah.
Like, takes it in their stride.
Mm.
And this is nice.
Oh.
See, that's a great shot. That's very nice.
Sound and vision.
I said the Toymaker, and defeating him took everything. It ripped
What?
me in half.
It took a game of catch, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
Survive that again.
So we're picking up on the 60th anniversary stuff here, aren't we? Where,
Yeah.
you know, the Toymaker said, "My legions are coming."
And I quite like that. You didn't get a sense in the giggle that it was costly to buy generate, but he just said that he was ripping his soul in half. So that was a criticism with the giggle, was that it just felt a bit overpowered. It's like, oh, can the Doctor do that again? Just survive death by splitting in two. But yeah, they should have let into that more. But I'm glad they did here the sense that it was a costly thing.
Yeah, he said can't survive that again, so that means hopefully we can avoid that road later.
I don't want to see that happen again in the show. Certainly for a very long time.
No.
The world did not end in 1963. No, but it didn't.
Time can be rewritten.
I was born in 2004, and all my life I've had Beyonce and some Fender and Strictly and tap dancing and raves and...
Sounds like music really was stolen.
Oh, very good.
This ain't Texas. This ain't Hold'em. Like, no!
Again, the motif of snow falling.
Was it ash?
This is what we're trying to stop. This is your home if Maestro isn't stopped.
Wow. I'm buying the Doctor in this scene. He's got the gravity. The mavity, sorry.
The mavity, mate.
Oh wow, this is very stylized, isn't it?
But again, because you know because it's so outlandish, you can have these kind of performances as well.
Yeah.
Who trapped my father and bound him in salt. Yes?
Child of
Father.
the Toymaker. If he was a living game, you are the essence of music itself.
See, again, that works nicely, doesn't it? That the Toymaker is the essence of games,
Yeah.
and they're the essence of music.
That is a nice concept. But did RTD write this?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it's the same writer as the previous episode, isn't it?
Yeah. Very much so.
Like, this just has a lot more going on. And again, I understand it's not going to be to everyone's taste at all, but it's just a much better put together episode.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We need to find the notes of banishment. Leonard's guitar.
The notes of that.
Nice Vox amplifier there.
Yeah.
I thought it was non-diegetic.
Very meta.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
What do you mean?
There's a hidden song deep inside our soul. What is it? What is this?
Christmas. music that was playing the night that she was born.
Got our snow again.
Oh yeah.
Music battle.
There's a scene like this in Doctor Strange 2, if you've seen that.
Is that the Multiverse of Madness one?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, do you remember that music battle scene?
I don't actually, I can't remember much about it. I just remember him having an eye on his head.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful, that bit. How are they that good at piano?
See, it's quite a nice idea, isn't it? Find the right chord, the right combination of notes, and it will banish them.
Yeah, what chord is that?
Yeah, good question.
And it feels like the most holy thing on this earth.
The one who waits. Nice.
That's been mentioned before, hasn't it, in the 60th anniversary, is the one who waits.
Yeah, the one that even the Toymaker is afraid of.
There's always a twist at the end.
There's always a twist, there's always a twist, there's always a twist at the end. There's always a twist, there's always a twist, there's always a twist at the end. My friends, we can listen, let's friend, 'cause there's always, yes, there's always a twist at the end. We got the bop and the rock and the Lindy Hop, we got the shark behind and the
What the heck is this?
You ask a good question.
Is that Murray Gold?
I think I was going to say that was Marigold.
That's nice if we made a little cameo. Oh no, could they not license any actual Beatles songs?
No, seemingly not. So we got this character appearing again.
Ah.
The Harbinger. Well. I hated that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a musical number in Doctor Who. As in, like, an actual musical number.
Where are we?
In the middle of a war.
So this is Stephen Moffat, mate.
Oh, is it?
So tonally, that next episode looks far more where I want to be.
Yeah.
Right. Hit me with it, mate. Where are you?
Well, up to that ending, I actually thought it was quite good. I'm willing to overlook the ending. I mean, it annoys me. I don't think it really works having a full-on musical number, because you got away with it in the Toymaker with the Spice Girls song, because it had that mad energy to it. And then the way music was used in the rest of this episode, I think, was quite inventive, because this character is the essence of music. So,
yeah.
But then doing a song about there's always a twist at the end, that just felt like quite a cheap finish. But I'm willing to overlook that, because I do think actually that was quite, well, it was certainly an improvement on previous episode.
Sure.
And yeah, I do quite like the content. I mean, I completely understand it. If you watch this episode and you don't like it at all, I completely understand that in a sense. It's a very out there kind of weird madcap tone, but I sort of buy it because I'm quite a big fan of, I guess, those kind of cult comedy, horror, rock musicals from the 70s and 80s. So the definitive one is Rocky Horror Picture Show, but also things like Shock Treatment. And my favourite is Brian De Palma's Phantom of the Paradise, if you've ever seen that. But they all have that bizarre energy to them, where you just have no idea what's going to happen, and it just fully leans into it, and it goes about as weird as it can go. Whether that's right for Doctor Who, I don't know. Certainly not for every episode. But in this case, like the villain, and I wasn't expecting this villain to work, Maestro. From what I saw in the trailer and stuff, I was like, this is gonna. I'm not sure about this, but actually, to my surprise, I think Maestro is actually perhaps the element of the episode that works best in places. I genuinely quite
Yeah.
menacing in that scene with the tuning fork and stuff. The other elements that I was looking forward to more, like time with the Beatles and stuff, it worked less well in a sense. Like, I mean, they did a reasonable job on the likeness, but performances were a bit lackluster, which I guess was the point because, it was the music had been stripped out, but it was sad we couldn't get any actual Beatles songs. But yeah, all that to say, yeah, it was actually the Maestro stuff that for me kind of made this episode work against all odds. And it allowed the Doctor and Ruby to have a few serious moments, like seeing the dystopian future that had a weight to it. And the ending kind of undercut all that a little bit. But overall, I'm quite positive about that, I'd say. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'd largely agree. I think Maestro really works in the context of the story and the character that they're supposed to be. I think if it was that kind of performance, if they just landed on a planet somewhere and there was a villain and they were like that, just a villain kind of from the universe, it would be too much. But because they're supposed to be this figure who's from beyond the universe, these creatures like the Toymaker, they are supposed to be larger than life. They are supposed to be these sort of almost godlike beings with sort of terrifying power. That the Doctor is actually threatened by them. And even though it is over the top, it is scenery chewing, I think it works because they are supposed to be that immensely powerful that it's a game to them, they're playing, like the Toymaker is playing, like Maestro is playing. So I think in that context it works. And I think I enjoyed it more, even second time round. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first time, bearing in mind that I also watched it at sort of 10 to 1 in the morning the first time round. Right. By the end, I think I was like passing out. And I think the scene with Ruby playing the piano and the people people opening their windows and hearing the music. I really like that scene there. I think the scene as well where the Doctor, there's the silence with the pitchfork put in the water, as you mentioned, that just works brilliantly, and it's such a really nice shot as well. You can see a bit of the money appearing there in those shots. And we're seeding these things again, aren't we? There's something about Ruby. There's what did Maestro say? There's something about there's a song deep inside her soul, and we get Carol of the Bells. So we're going back again to that night of her birth, being left at the church. I think it's a shame they didn't make more of the Beatles stuff, like you kind of said. Obviously, they couldn't license music; probably would have cost a lot. Or if they wouldn't have been able to get it in sort of perpetuity, and then it would end up being cut. I think though what they could have done is I was trying to work out from the lost chord that banishes Maestro. I thought it was going to be the chord from the beginning of A Hard Day's Night.
Yes.
Which is like a mix, which you can't play like as a guitar player. You can't play it as one instrument. You need two instruments at least to do it. And there's still a bit of debate as to actually what is being played. So it is a bit mysterious. And you could have done that because you don't need to, because you can't copyright a chord sound. So the ending. I hate it. I hate this song and dance at the end. When we watched the Christmas special, we had the bit of musical stuff in there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
which I didn't like, but I said if it's a kind of one-off, I can let it go. I can let it slide. To have two things like that within 3 episodes, plus I hadn't even really factored in the 60th. You've got a song and dance from the Toymaker. To me, doesn't work. However, some people have said they wonder whether it's part of a bigger plot to show that there's something not quite right, because there's quite a lot of fourth wall breaking in this as well. and the idea of the Toymaker and just this kind of things not being quite as they should be. Maybe that's playing into it, and it's literally saying there's always a twist. You know,
Interesting. Yes.
and maybe this is part of it. Now, picking up on that. So I said earlier about that woman in the background. Now that woman has been in every episode so far,
Oh, wow.
including some of the 60th anniversary, I think. So the same actress has been appearing in different roles in every story. Often just background roles. So I think she was like a servant lady to Isaac Newton. She's in this one. I think she was in the last episode as one of the crew, you know, when the crew were on videos. I think it might be even her, or she's in it somewhere. I don't know, because I hadn't picked up on it. I'd just seen people saying it. And I think she might be in the Church on Ruby Road as well, somewhere. A character called Mrs. Meridew or something like that. However, the actress's name is, so I believe, I might be getting this wrong unless I've really got the end of the stick here, Susan Twist. Now,
Hello.
I'm like, well, this interests me because there's always a twist at the end. And we've also got mention of Susan, which is a pretty deep cut. Is a pretty deep cut for a rebooted series in its second episode to suddenly reference the 1963 series of having the Doctor's daughter Susan.
Literally
So
the
I don't
first
really know where this
companion in Doctor Who history.
Yeah. So I don't really know where this is going. But so because of that, although I think that musical number went on way too long still, I'm willing to withhold judgment on it until the whole season has played out to see if it fits into part of a grander scheme. If it doesn't, I'll just be like, yeah, it's just, oh, please stop. But if it does, if it's part of the kind of Toymakers playing with the universe type thing, or figures like the Toymaker, then I can live with that. So that will remain to be seen, and I don't want to pass judgment too early on it because of that.
That's really interesting.
Which, you know, yeah.
I think I agree, yeah. If you're right about that, if it is something, then it could work. I think, as you say, if it is literally just he wanted to put a musical number at the end, then, not a fan. But, the evidence is there to suggest that it might be something more. So that is fascinating, actually.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye out for this lady. I'm just going to look up Susan Twist, actually, to make sure I've got that right. Because that feels too convenient that the actual actress's name is Susan Twist.
Yeah. Did they get her to, like, legally change her name for the sake of this show?
Susan Twist is an actress. Yeah, she is an actress. And she's been in... Yeah, she's been in these episodes of Doctor Who, so...
I mean, I wouldn't put it past RTD to be like, oh, I know this actress called Susan Twist. Wait, hang on. What if we got her in every episode and we bring back Susan and we have a twist at the end? And like, he is the sort of person who would try to weave something like that, like the Bad Wolf stuff.
Yeah, and given that you've got all these, I'm wondering whether we're going to get more of these figures. Like we've had the Toymaker, we've had the Maestro, we've got Harbinger, that's the boy.
Yeah.
There's obviously all these slightly like trickster
The one who
deities.
waits.
The one who waits. There's all these things. We've also had some reference in the last story to a number of different Time Lords as well, didn't we? Like who, apart from the Rani, are not characters we've ever come across. The Bishop, the Pedant, the Conquistador, the Sarashi or something. So you kind of wonder whether these things are all being seeded somewhere for something further down the line. And so there's been some talk about whether is Ruby like Susan's daughter?
Ooh.
So is Susan the one who leaves Ruby at the church? No, I don't know why that would be the case. It seems very odd, but it seems strange to have had Susan mentioned in this story, unless we're going to see something of her. And
Has
it would be
Carol
lovely.
Ann Ford come back to Doctor Who at all?
She has come back in an anniversary story.
Yes, and
But that was it.
she was in Adventure in Space and Time, wasn't she?
Yeah, just as a cameo, like a number of companions appeared in sort of background roles, but not in a main role. So it would be good to, if they did bring her in, actually as the actress, you know, if they could get her in, if that appears later in the season, that wouldn't be terrible. And saying that, I swear I heard a rumour, and this is pure speculation, so if you don't like spoilers, if you don't even like to hear rumours, then maybe turn away now, that possibly the first Doctor may appear in this season with Ncuti Gatwa, or at least a season with Ncuti Gatwa. So that would kind of point us towards the possibility of Susan a bit more. But anyway, we might just be. I mean, this is why I enjoy Doctor Who, though. It's these kind of conversations of going, it might be this, it might be this. What's it going to be? That's what I want. What I don't want is farting babies and snot monsters on the whole. So
yeah, this does just feel like a big improvement on the first one. I don't know what he was thinking. It was almost like it was an idea he wanted to get out of his system.
Has anyone? It's one of those things where I get a feeling it's been a long time since anyone said no to you, Russell. Like,
right, yeah, it's like when George Lucas did the Star Wars prequels. Just
Christmas holiday special.
Yeah. Dex's Diner. Depends how big your
pocketbook. Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, the Next Time trailer, the tone of that looks much more, you know, and I think Moffat, he obviously got a very sort of overworked during his era on Doctor Who when he was doing Sherlock and Doctor Who and I think a couple of other things as well.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what it'll be like with just a one-off episode. He's often produced great stuff as his one-offs.
His one-offs are among the best. Yeah, his one-offs are among the best. Well, even the two-parter Silence in the Library, and when he wasn't the showrunner, but he dipped in, phenomenal. Blink.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a really. I'm hoping next week is going to be one of those episodes where you go, that's a standout story.
It would be really nice for this season to have at least one episode like that, because then I think people would start to get on board with it a lot more. If the whole thing's a bit, well, it's all right if you like that sort of thing. You want it to have some knockouts in there, don't you?
Yeah.
For the cast especially, like they deserve it, I think.
Well, I think as well you're going to need them. If for example, what we've just seen is part of a bigger story that won't pay off until later, it's a risky game to make your show feel like it's slightly fallen apart. You know, like it's just, you know, like it's gone, because quite frankly that ending is just ridiculous, isn't it?
There's no two ways about it.
So if you're watching that, I mean, it's yeah. And if it plays into a bigger thing, then great, you go nice payoff at the end. But you've got to rely on the fact that people will then stay till the end. So you need some things that really grip people, which I think, you know, we should have had the first episode. It needs to be that big, serious, grip everybody type thing. Not necessarily serious, but, you know, it needs to be a real humdinger straight out the gate. And I felt actually like, so this is a big improvement. Space Babies, I think I'd just be embarrassed to watch with someone who wasn't a Doctor Who fan. Like, they'd be like, you honestly watch this.
Yeah.
But I will say, on second watching now, having seen both of those again, the Space Babies was a little bit better than I remember, but still very, very poor. This was a lot stronger than I remembered as well. So I think that's encouraging for me.
Yeah. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster of an evening. In a sense, I'm glad they released both together, because it meant we got the lows, but then there's a lot of promise there.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Gatwa and even Millie Gibson have settled much more into it in that second episode.
Totally.
I think there's still odd moments. There was a bit where the Doctor said, like, Maestro is controlling the TARDIS, but I say never, and I'm like, that just feels like really weird. That doesn't feel like good dialogue to me. It just feels a bit odd. But there was a lot more moments for Gatwa to get his teeth into it, and it looks like next week there'll be even more. So, fingers crossed.
The teeth of Gatwa.
New teeth.
Yes.
Weird.
Oh, Matt. Well, I think Zoom's going to cut us off fairly soon. So, really, really interesting. Let us know what you guys think in the description, in the comments, and do join our Discord community for more of this chat. But Paul, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. It's been good.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.
See you soon for Boom.